Well, folks, we're back here in the wood shop again, and we got this piece of pine that we've been working on. This is another piece that I got from my daughter Mary and Dwight Lancaster in Somerville, Massachusetts. And we're already started on it here. We're trying to form the outside. Yesterday we put a tenon on the bottom over here, and what I have in mind here is some sort of a vase, this being the top, and we're forming it here. And unfortunately my idea of what I wanted was somewhat smaller than what I started with, so we're making a lot of wood chips here. And you know, we get a lot of requests here at headquarters, but we don't let that bother us. We're going to keep right on turning, just like we knew what we were doing. So anyway, I think this is about the right size, maybe be a little smaller for the top. I don't know how much we'll neck this in, and here, from here we'll go down and we'll taper it down. I don't really know how far, but we're going to try and come down here and form a base and taper this bottom, and hopefully make it look like somebody knew what they were doing when they turned it. So anyway, we're running at about 1200 RPMs here, and let's see if how that's gonna do. I think that'll be all right. And I think the first thing we're gonna do is trim off a little here, then we're gonna move the tool rest over and start tapering this part down. Man, it's making a mess, but that's part of the hobby here. So, face shield on. I think we'll continue using this 5/8 bowl gouge. The more we get this neck down, the more it kind of looks like a vase. Well, you can kind of see where we have to go here. We have to kind of get this part to blend in with that part. We'll try and get a sharper tool here. Getting down kind of the shape that I'm thinking of. The question is now, how big do we make it? This wood doesn't look like much when it's wet. It tears, doesn't cut good. Once it gets dry and gets sanded, it usually looks pretty nice. So we're going to try and do something with this part now. And I'm going to switch to a little smaller gouge. Still turning at 1200. Well, I'm thinking that that looks generally like what I had in mind. I'm thinking that it ought to be just a little narrower down here. Maybe just a little bit longer. I think we'll take a little more off there and kind of stretch that profile out just a little bit. You don't want to make it too long. And we're going to want a foot down here, and I don't want it that big. Not sure we want to go that long. Let's try to take some off this and see what that looks like. We've got a new carbide cutter here. It's a square cutting edge. It takes stuff off pretty fast. Let's give it a try. That's when you're glad you got a face shield. And we'll run the vase down to here, and then make a. And we got a little bit of an issue, but I think we got enough room. This is undercut here, so I don't have as much room as it would appear. One thing about this wood, we get done forming here, we'll probably take it back outside, let it age for another day or so before we do too much to it. When it gets dry, it will cut much better. I'm kind of liking the way this is turning out. I've never made one of these before, so I'm not quite sure where we're at. So, I don't know, you think it looks like a vase? I think it's beginning to. I don't know if this is too thick or not. And I'm inclined not to take too much off. And maybe we'll try and cup this out a little bit so it has a little bit of a swoop to it. And then we'll cut this down and to about here and let that form the base. I think this is about right. The next time or so when we get into this, which will probably be in a day or two, we'll come in here and we'll hollow this out. And I'm not sure how deep we'll go, but that's one of the things that that encourages it to take a project like this, because I do have that hollowing system, so I can get in here and hollow. So looking at that body of the vase, it'd probably be about perhaps 7 inches, and which would mean we'd have to come in from here and go down about 7 inches. I think that's doable. Haven't ever done it before. We'll see how that works. This may get smaller. We may want to make this a little bit smaller, but I don't want to do it today. The thing about this project, the projects like this or wood turning, you know, you got to be a little careful. You can always take more off, but you can't ever put it back on. So you want to think about it a little bit. And I find that it's kind of beneficial for me to get in a position like this where I haven't done it before, is to get down approximately where you want to be, and then let it rest a day or two. When you come back and look at it again, it may look different. And on top of that, with wood like this, you really need to let it dry out, because it's probably going to warp in a day or two. And then the first thing we'll have to do when we come back is put it in round again. So anyway, some of you have asked to see more of the work and what goes into stuff, and it seems to me a lot of times that it's you know, just kind of boring. But I guess it's like any kind of thing that you kind of create from a lump of something, that it isn't all just done in one shot. You kind of have to think about it, let it set for a day, turn it over a little bit. So anyway, thanks for watching. Talk to you later.